Hi there, I'm Dana from vipHome Link, and this is Eric from the WQA. Welcome to the vipHome podcast today. Eric, how are you?
I am doing well. Thank you, Dana. I'm glad to be with you.
Thank you for being here. So tell us a bit about your position at the Water Quality Association and how your background led you to be involved with the WQA.
So I am the Technical Affairs Director for the Water Quality Association. I joined WQA in 2009. I have a degree in chemistry from the University of Northern Iowa, and I started my career in the contract laboratory testing industries, testing drinking water, groundwater, soil, things of that nature. And in that role, I was finding a lot of problems, but it was not my role to help those customers fix their drinking water. And that was not very personally rewarding for me because I like solving problems. So I was looking for a career change. And here at the Water Quality Association, we represent the residential, commercial, and industrial drinking water treatment industry. And WQA and the industry we represent is working to solve water quality issues every day. So I find that very personally rewarding. And so I've been very happy since I joined WQA.
Yeah, it's a very rewarding job indeed. You help a lot of people, which is amazing. So, as we both know, clean drinking water is essential for survival for not only us, but for animals and everybody around. But unfortunately, water coming from the tap can have pollutants, and some of these are labeled as PFAS. Can you tell us a bit about these chemicals and why homeowners should be concerned about finding them in their drinking water at their houses?
Yes, absolutely. So PFAS, pronounced PFAS, is a class of chemicals known as per and polyfluorinated alkyl substances. It's a lot to say. So in the chemistry world, we love our acronyms just like everybody else. But these are man-made chemicals. They do not occur naturally in the environment. They are commonly used in nonstick coatings, firefighting foams, packaging, clothing, carpet, and many other industries. No one really knows how many of these chemicals are in use. The estimates I have heard range from anywhere from 4,000 different PFAS chemicals are in use to maybe upwards of 10,000 different PFAS chemicals are in use.
Wow.
Now, we know the most about the two PFAS chemicals that were voluntarily phased out of the US market around 2015. Those are PFOS and PFOA, and people have probably heard of those or seen them advertised in nonstick coatings. Our nonstick coating is PFOS free or PFOA. So those two were actually voluntarily phased out of the US market in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Studies have linked PFOA and PFOS to things like reproductive problems, adverse effects on the liver, the kidneys, the thyroids, the immune system, elevated cholesterol, cancers, and developmental issues with babies. Now, unfortunately, we know the least about the PFAS chemicals that the industry switched to around 2015.
Mm-hmm.
They might be less dangerous. They might be more dangerous. We just don't know yet.
So, Eric, why are they called forever chemicals?
PFAS are very resilient in the environment and they can travel great distances once they enter the aquifer. And once you're exposed, they remain in your body and nothing in nature can destroy them once they enter the environment. Therefore, they bioaccumulate in the food chain and in our bodies. And it's based on the makeup of PFAS chemicals is a long carbon chain that's saturated with fluorine atoms. And at the end, there's a functional group. And that carbon fluorine bond is one of the strongest bonds in chemistry. And it's very difficult to destroy.
Okay, thank you. Approximately how many people in America have PFAS in their drinking water, and how can the homeowners know what to do?
Gotcha. So no one is really certain how many people in America have PFAS in their drinking water because the extensive testing has just not been done yet. PFAS have been found in water supplies in every state, and I suspect we've only started to scratch the surface. Depending upon which laboratory you were to send a sample to, that laboratory may be able to test for maybe 14 different PFAS chemicals or upwards of even 50 different PFAS chemicals. But as I already mentioned, we know there are thousands of these chemicals in use. And until we know what they all are, which is information that is currently tightly guarded as trade secrets, the laboratories will not be able to develop test methods to look for them. So what we do know is based on blood studies, we know that every American has been exposed to PFAS. These chemicals are in our blood. You and I have been bioaccumulating PFAS in our bodies since we were born. Yeah.
Do you think moving forward, whether it's years or sooner than that, do you think that any homeowners could expect some sort of kit that they can use to screen their water or filter it out, in a more efficient way to keep them safe?
So the in-home test kits would not capture PFAS.
Okay.
You would have to go through a certified drinking water laboratory to get your water tested for PFAS. And as I said, you would want to shop around. Some of them can, first of all, they're not all capable of testing for PFAS. It's a difficult test. And of those that are capable of certified for testing for PFAS chemicals, they may each have a different list of PFAS chemicals that they're testing for.
Right.
It was 14, and again, it may be up to upwards of 50, depending upon which method they're using.
Right. So if people are buying water off the shelves, will you have that label on there that says it doesn't contain X, Y, and Z PFAS? Are they free of them? And how can one be certain what they're getting?
You're talking bottled water now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not aware of any cases where PFAS have been found in bottled water yet, but I don't know that it's been extensively studied either.
Okay.
I know a lot of people say that bottled water is just simply tap water that's repackaged, but in reality, bottled water, even if they are using a source that is tap water, they putting that tap water through an entire treatment train. So there will be a bottling plant that has a series of treatments that the water will go through before it is actually bottled.
Okay, so, in the unfortunate event that homeowners have PFAS in their tap water, which we know that we do when we turn on our faucets today to drink, to brush our teeth, to wash our face, what should they do immediately? Do they need to stop drinking it? If they, are there certain things that they might notice? Is there a funny smell? Is there a color change in anything? What could homeowners look out for?
Gotcha. So no funny smell, no color change. These things would be invisible in your water. And we're talking about levels that are parts per trillion. So we're concerned about concentrations that are parts per trillion. Anybody familiar with chemistry at all will know that's very, very minute amounts. Typically in the drinking water world, we are looking for contaminants that are either in the parts per million range or the parts per billion range. These are entire 3 orders of magnitude below that. So we're talking about very small amounts that are dangerous. And there are in-home drinking water treatment devices that have been tested and certified by third parties to ensure that the manufacturer's claims relating to the removal of PFAS are accurate. I can send you some links, including the products that we've tested and products that have been tested by other organizations as well.
Yeah, that would be, wonderful. And that's something that we can share with all of our readers and listeners, that if this is something that they're looking for, this is something that they can do in their home to kind of filter this out of their drinking water.
Yep. And so bottled water, as I mentioned, could also be an easy short-term solution, but boiling the water will not help. Don't boil the water. I'm concerned about PFAS. Boiling the water is for microbial contaminants, but it will not help with PFAS at all.
And then is there anything, again, like if the levels get super high and again, in certain areas, if it's being tested and people are monitoring that, how are homeowners going to find out that they should stop drinking their water if there's an issue, in a specific town or whatnot? Has that ever happened before?
Sure. So if you're on a municipal supply, it's always good to check the annual water quality report for many different reasons. But in the case of PFAS are not regulated federally under the Safe Drinking Water Act. So your municipality may not be testing for PFAS chemicals. If they are, they're again likely only able to test for a handful of PFAS chemicals, and we know there's thousands of these. So it's not necessarily a completely reliable method, but it is definitely worth checking your local municipal water quality report. If you're on a private well, or even if you're on a municipal supply, it's also a good idea to contact the county and state public health departments, because any of these agencies might have helpful information about PFAS contamination in your area.
Right. And how often should one check out that report? Do you do it quarterly, monthly?
And depending upon the city, most of them are published quarterly.
Okay.
And they usually come to you in the newsletter.
Right. Okay. Well, this is all great information, very informative. And is there something we haven't discussed that you'd like to share with us?
One of the things I think would be worth mentioning is I would encourage your viewers to check out the free booklet on our website called Water Treatment for Dummies. It answers questions about water treatment in very consumer-friendly language. Mm-hmm. It contains tips for homeowners, whether they're on a municipal supply or a private well. And for the do-it-yourselfer, it provides useful information on how you can find safe and effective water treatment products, or if you'd rather hire someone, it gives you questions that you should ask a water treatment professional before making a hiring decision.
Eric, this was wonderful. I'm so glad we were able to have you, and we look forward to many more conversations with you in the future. Your expertise is always welcome at vipHome Link. And again, thank you so much for today.
Happy to help, Dana. Thanks.
Have a great day.